In this video, I'm going to be reviewing every Hasbro prop replica from the MCU that I own. Since I have a lot to say for them, I split this video into 2 parts, so be on the lookout for part 2, which will be out soon. Let me know which ones you have or want, and let's get into it. Starting the video off like how the MCU did, the first replica we'll be looking at is the Iron Man helmet. I genuinely cannot believe that this helmet came out nearly a decade ago and is part of the beginning of a new line for Hasbro that's still going to this day. This one, just like nearly every other one in the video, was made to be wearable, so there are a lot of moving parts, specifically here in the back and on the jaw. But honestly, there's a few more features on this Iron Man helmet that make it one of the more interactive ones in this video, and I think it's one of the more interactive ones in general. I'm not too sure about the newest ones, but it is one of the more interactive ones that I have in my collection. Just like the early Iron Man helmets from the movies, you could take off the faceplate here for a little more interaction. And as you could hear, there are sounds, and that's because I already have batteries in this helmet. As you could see that they go right here in this kind of jaw area. There are a few touch points for the magnets to go on and kind of connect, so as you saw, it was kind of just connected by the default look, but you could also do the kind of lifted look that Iron Man does in the movies just by doing that. And as you can see, it looks pretty cool. You could just imagine someone's head in there. But yeah, I'm just gonna put it back on like normal, and as you could hear, there are more sounds and there are even light up features. But yeah, the overall detail that they put on this first helmet is just amazing, and the fact that it's Iron Man, you just have this simple gold and red hot rod paint, and I think they nailed it with the look and the paint overall. Now, I have had this for years, so there are little scuffs on the paint, as you can see here on the back and stuff, but obviously that's not from the factory, that's just from having it from years and displaying it. As you can tell, we've enjoyed just having this on display and just looking at it with the rest of our collection, so it's a really nice thing that Hasbro did for the collectors. But as you can see, the eyes are lighting up, and you can adjust that with a button on the inside of the jaw here. It's not flashing in real life, it's just that the light and the shutter speed kind of match, I guess. So this is the off version, and then you could power it up here with the sound effect. This is the brightest I believe it goes. This is kind of dimmer, and this is the lowest light setting. So when you turn it off, this is what it looks like. So yeah, overall just a really cool piece from Hasbro, a really cool product. In my opinion, this is one of the best replicas that they did, considering it's one of the first. So I'm kind of starting off the video with a high, but that doesn't mean that the rest are bad by any means. This next one's not from Marvel, but sent over from today's sponsor, N-Sabers. N-Sabers sent me over this Luke 1 replica, inspired by Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, and it is a fantastic replica. In the box N-Sabers sends over, there is of course the hilt, this light tester, the blade, screws to attach the two together, a charger, and this acrylic display stand if you want to display the hilt on its own. Unlike the replicas I'll be showing in this video, this is made from metal, so it's fairly heavy, but it is visually amazing. Depending on which saber you get, there are different controls, but the Luke one that I have here has a single button for all the functions. Since there's only one button, all the controls are time-based from pressing and holding. For example, you can choose from a variety of colors that best matches you. I personally really like this blue. You can even change the ignition pattern to best suit the vibe you want to give off, and more, all with the same button. Now, there are sabers that they offer with multiple buttons, but for each saber they provide fairly easy instructions to follow, found on the manual provided or on their website. If you want to see the full capabilities of the saber for yourself or any of the other products that they have to offer, go down to the description, use my affiliate link to get 7% off, or use my code Jakobe for the same 7% off your purchase. Thank you to N-Sabers for sponsoring today's video, and let's get on to more replicas. Now on to the only really other OG Avenger prop that I have in this video. We have Mjolnir, or Thor's hammer, as you can see. Now this one's not a helmet, as you can tell, but it is indeed a prop. You can either hold it in your hand for cosplays or playing around with it, or you can display it like I have here, and it comes with this little black stand, so you could kind of lean it like you saw in the Thor movies. Now, like I said earlier, these all have interactive features, but this one's interactive feature is truly interactive. Rather than sound effects when you're just moving or touching it, you actually do have to talk to it, similar to how Odin did in the movies, which I think is really creative. Basically what you do is take the hammer, and obviously you need some batteries. They go right here in this little compartment, but you also have to flip this on and off switch. First thing that'll happen is this blue with these thunder effects, fittingly for Thor. It goes on for a little while, not gonna lie. So what happens when it's done, you press and hold this button here and you say the words Thor, and it lights up just like that, showing the Odin's rune. You could also say the words worthy and the same thing will appear, which, like I said, I think is a really cool touch. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. But yeah, I think that's a really cool detail that Hasbro did not need to add at all, but it's really cool that they did. The sculpted details even on the handle is really nice. They got this nice little fake leather texture up here. This part up here feels kind of like metal, so that's really nice. I don't know what it actually is made out of, but it's definitely not the same plastic all around. The details continue into the handle, of course. Oh, and the actual hammer part. There are really nice sculpted details around the sides of the hammer, just like the real one. So there is a lot of dust on these. Like I said, just like the Iron Man one, these have been on display for as long as we've had them. So for a good 5+ years at this point. On the top here, you can see that there's even that scripture going around the circle with some weathering effects, which is really nice. So yeah, overall, just really cool. There is this little scratch mark. I don't think that was from the factory. I think it's just from years of having it. But, you know, I just love that Hasbro didn't skimp out on any details whatsoever, and they made it the best they possibly could. Back to helmets here, I have Star-Lord's helmet from Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is one of my favorite ones of the video, and I think the interactive feature is pretty fitting for the character, so it's nice that they were able to put the two together. But yeah, for the light up features on this one, there is the button right here that you could press, of course with batteries that you store in the same area as Iron Man's from earlier. You have the 3 light settings. You can't really see it on this camera, but see that it kind of dims up and stuff, with the sound effects as well. And speaking of sound effects, the other interactive feature of this is of course playing music. I'm not going to do it in this video because anything I play will probably get copyright, but just like in the movie, Star-Lord loves his music, so here you could also listen to music. And on the inside you can kind of see the speakers right there where the ears would go. You could pair it with Bluetooth from your phone and that will play whatever you want through the phone. And just like the Iron Man one, the back is adjustable, so you could fit different sizes of heads in there, and then of course it locks back in once you have it in. But yeah, in terms of detail, this one is one of my favorite ones. I really like the whole thing going on down here. Now I know that's part of the character's design, but Hasbro did nail it with all the tubes and all the stuff going on. The textures are really nice as well, especially in here, so I think that's a pretty cool thing. Now the only thing I don't really like about the detail is the kind of battle damage that they gave to the helmet, or at least tried to. I think it looks fine on these silver parts, kind of like scuff marks and stuff all around, as you could see. But what I don't think hits the mark is the gold scuff marks. I don't know if it's because the lack of variety of scuff marks or kind of just the way they did it, but it's just, it looks like a smear of poop. I don't know what that is. Just like all the other ones, this one has been on display, but when I first looked at this one for the first time in years, really, I genuinely thought this was a mistake or something, or like someone had touched it with dirty hands or something, which I was gonna try wiping it off, but it turns out it's part of the helmet. I just thought it looked kind of weird and kind of out of place, but other than that, this is one of my favorite helmets. Like I said, all the rivets all around make it really nice, but like I said, on the gray parts and the silver kind of ruined paint, I think they did a pretty good job there, just not on the gold. But yeah, everything about this one I really like. Ignoring the kind of gold stuff that I mentioned, this is really well done and one of my favorites. On to the next helmet, I have the Black Panther one, and I'm not gonna lie, I love this one, but I'm very mixed on it. It's not to say I don't like it, but I do just have a lot to say compared to the other ones. It looks great visually all around. There's just a few things I want to point out, like the eyes, the button, the way the interactive part is. Some things about it just kind of bother me, and the size overall, when you wear it on your head, it just seems kind of huge compared to the other ones, like kind of unproportional in a way, but I can't really complain about that part. They needed to do what they needed to do for the design anyway. But critiquing the Black Panther helmet as a Black Panther helmet, I got some stuff to say. I'll just start off with the negatives so I can end off on the positives, but the thing about the eyes, I'm not too into the reflectiveness of it. I don't know, something about it is just weird, considering Black Panther's eyes in the movies are more of white, and I think they should be more white rather than this reflective blue. I think it kind of just looks awkward. I feel like they're kind of too big in a sense, but that just might be me. And what I wanted to mention on the button was the fact it kind of sticks out way too much. On all the other ones, they seem to be kind of flush or like hidden or something. This one kind of just looks like a pimple on his face. It's just kind of weird sticking out like that, so I'm not too into that. They did try to make it blend into the silver part, but obviously from the front you will be able to see it extruded out. And for the translucent part that I was complaining about earlier, I think it looks cool. It's not really the design I'm complaining about, it's more so the functionality of it. When you press this button, the eyes go up, as you could see, and then the lights turn on, which I think first of all the lights should be purple, not blue, but I see what they were going for. It still looks kind of cool, but for Black Panther I feel like they should be purple. But also, I don't know if it's just my copy, but the eyes don't go up properly. They kind of just fall like that, and they also don't go down properly, so that just might be mine. So it's more of a functionality thing I'm complaining about here. Otherwise, I think the effect is cool. I have seen other people's reviews where the eyes go up and down as they want it to. Mine has kind of just always been kind of weird, I guess. But yeah, that's really about the extent of my complaining. Otherwise, I think this is a really cool helmet. Like, it looks sick as like a biker helmet or something. Like, the concept of that would be really cool. I'm sure that's a thing already. But the different textures all throughout this helmet is a really nice touch. I really like the Wakandering lettering found all around the back, as well as this kind of breathable texture that they kind of sculpted into the mouthpiece and around the eyes. I really do just wish that they handled the light up feature better overall, and also I wish it was better on my copy, but it's okay, because like I keep saying, these are more display pieces for us. It's not like I'm playing around with these and putting them on every day. So just to look at it like this, it is pretty cool, but to put it on, I feel like it's too big, and also the functionalities of this is kind of weird, and for some reason my button doesn't work all the time, but you know, it still works to an extent, so still cool. That's it for part 1. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and please look forward to part 2. Let me know which helmets you have or want from this video and which ones you want to see next. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next video.